Have you ever noticed how a single thought can trap your mind for hours, sometimes even days? A simple conversation you had earlier suddenly starts replaying in your head. You begin asking yourself questions like, did I say something wrong? Or, what did they really mean by that? At first, it feels like you are just thinking deeply, but before you realize it, your mind has turned one small moment into hundreds of imaginary scenarios. And the strange part is, most of those scenarios will never happen. Yet your brain keeps analyzing, replaying, and worrying as if your life depends on it. This silent habit is called overthinking, and psychology suggests it may be slowly damaging your mental peace more than you realize. Imagine lying in bed at night. Your body is tired, but your mind refuses to rest. Instead of sleeping, your brain starts reviewing the entire day like a movie. You remember a message you sent, a mistake you made, or something embarrassing that happened years ago. Suddenly, your heart beats faster. Your brain begins creating questions that have no clear answers. What if people judge you? What if you made the wrong decision? What if the future goes wrong? In that moment, nothing bad is actually happening around you. But inside your mind, chaos has already begun. This is the daily reality for people who struggle with overthinking. Psychologists explain that overthinking happens when the brain tries too hard to protect us from mistakes or danger. The human mind is designed to analyze problems and plan for the future. This ability helped our ancestors survive. But in the modern world, this same ability sometimes goes into overdrive. Instead of solving problems, the brain keeps repeating the same thoughts again and again without reaching a solution. It is like running on a treadmill. You are moving constantly, but you are not going anywhere. One interesting psychological fact is that overthinking actually increases stress hormones in the body. When your brain repeatedly imagines negative possibilities, it reacts as if those threats are real. Your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone. Over time, this can lead to anxiety, mental fatigue, and difficulty focusing. In other words, your thoughts alone can make your body feel like it is under attack, even when everything around you is calm. Another surprising insight is that overthinking often creates problems that never existed in the first place. A simple message like, "okay" from a friend might trigger dozens of interpretations in an overthinker's mind. Are they angry? Did I offend them? Did I say too much? In reality, the other person probably sent the message without thinking twice. But the overthinking mind turns a small detail into a complicated story. Research in psychology also shows that highly intelligent and self-aware people tend to overthink more than others. This might sound strange, but it happens because their minds are capable of analyzing situations from many different angles. While this ability can be useful for solving complex problems, it can also trap them in endless loops of thinking. The mind becomes so busy analyzing possibilities that it forgets to experience the present moment. Another powerful psychological insight is that overthinking feeds on uncertainty. The brain hates not knowing what will happen, so it tries to predict every possible outcome in advance. But life is unpredictable by nature. No matter how much you think, you cannot control every future event. When the brain tries to do the impossible, it becomes exhausted. There is also a hidden emotional side to overthinking. Many people overthink because they fear making mistakes or being judged by others. They replay conversations because they want to appear perfect. They analyze decisions because they want to avoid regret. But ironically, the more they try to avoid mistakes, the more trapped they feel inside their own mind. Think about a person named Alex. After every conversation, Alex spends hours analyzing what was said. If someone laughs, Alex wonders if they were laughing at him. If someone stays quiet, Alex assumes they are upset. Over time, Alex begins avoiding social situations completely. Not because people are unkind, but because his own thoughts make every interaction feel dangerous. The real enemy was never the outside world. It was the endless storm inside his mind. Another psychological truth is that overthinking steals your ability to take action. When you analyze every possible outcome, every decision starts to feel risky. Should you apply for that job? Should you start that project? Should you talk to that person? Instead of moving forward, the mind keeps calculating possibilities. Days turn into weeks, and opportunities quietly pass by. What makes overthinking even more dangerous is that it feels productive. Your brain convinces you that you are solving problems, but in reality, you are just repeating the same thoughts without progress. Psychologists call this analysis paralysis. The more you analyze, the harder it becomes to act. There is also a powerful connection between overthinking and negative thinking patterns. When the mind spends too much time analyzing the past, it often focuses on mistakes and regrets. When it analyzes the future, it focuses on fears and worst-case scenarios. Slowly, the brain becomes trained to notice negative possibilities more than positive ones. Over time, this can shape how a person sees the world. But here is something important most people do not realize. Your brain is not designed to hold thousands of thoughts at the same time. When you constantly overload it with analysis and worry, it becomes mentally exhausted. This is why people who overthink often feel tired even when they have done nothing physically demanding. Their mind has been working non-stop. The truth is, the human mind is incredibly powerful, but it also needs rest. Just like muscles need recovery after exercise, the brain needs moments of silence. Without that silence, thoughts begin to pile up like noise in a crowded room. Eventually, it becomes difficult to hear anything clearly. Now think about this for a moment. Imagine if every thought in your mind suddenly became quiet for just 5 minutes. No worries about the past, no fears about the future, just calm silence. For many people, this idea feels almost impossible, but that silence is exactly what the mind needs to stay healthy. Overthinking slowly disappears when we realize a simple truth. Not every thought deserves our attention. Thoughts are like clouds passing through the sky. Some are useful, some are meaningless. But when we hold on to every cloud, the sky becomes dark and heavy. The most peaceful minds are not the ones that think the most. They are the ones that know when to stop thinking. So the next time your mind starts replaying a conversation, imagining worst-case scenarios, or analyzing every tiny detail, pause for a moment. Ask yourself one simple question. Is this thought helping me, or is it just trapping me? Because the biggest danger of overthinking is not the thoughts themselves. The real danger is the life you miss while you are lost inside them.